Three, two, one, go.
Thank you, Jess.
Thank you so much, Darshan.
Someone cut it.
Sometimes I do talk a lot, and just like, it's
Low anxiety, low stress, low mood. What did I say? Low stress. It's high stress.
and I just like spray myself like crazy. Yeah. I'm gonna get sick, then I'm getting sick, and then it's just keep repeating itself.
I think I should take my mattress outside, sleep with my fish.
And memes, bro. I love memes. I'm a meme girly. Like, I
Oh
love
my
memes.
God.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to this podcast. I'm your host, Darshan, and this first ever podcast is named as Behind the Smile. Um, why this podcast? This podcast is for real people, for real struggles. The kind we feel, but rarely we say out loud. And yeah, I've been through phases myself as well. Been through mental traumas, low anxiety, low stress, low mood. What did I say? Low stress. It's high stress. But yeah, I mean, this podcast is all about talking the real struggles, the real people. And today I have Jess with me over here.
Hiya.
Thank you so much, Jess, for joining me. It's amazing. It's great. You approached me, and it's not easy to open up. It's not easy to talk about things that you have gone through. I know you're smiling right now, but behind that smile, there's so much of
There is.
pain. I wouldn't say pain, but it's too much. I don't know. Everyone has their own stories.
We all have masks, right?
Absolutely. That's how it is. So, thank you. And would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Darshan, so thank you. So yeah, again, my name is Jess, and I am a student advisor at Motivation Academy. So that's what I do, and then I do also have a second job where I am helping to run the co-working space that we are currently at, and that is called Free Coffee Co-working Space. So thank you so much for having us and letting the space. So that's kind of what I do. So there is like a lot of customer service that is involved on a daily basis, a lot of hospitality as well, regardless whether that is doing with students or here at Coffee Co-working Space. It's we kind of try to make it personal so people can relate, people can feel like they're at home, and it's a really lovely atmosphere, especially when the people I work with, Camila and Ali, are absolutely amazing, the best people I work with so far. So I'm not trying to be like extremely nice, and don't get me wrong, Ali and Camila, if you're watching it, but I genuinely love working here, and when they come here and we work together, it's just the time flies by. So it's really, really good though.
I'm glad that's how the situation we all should be doing and working in a place where it's fun.
Yeah,
You
where you
know?
kind of surround yourself with people that you can kind of feel supported,
Yeah,
appreciated, respected as well. Because that's
absolutely.
kind of what I
Absolutely.
personally struggle with back in the past. So
That's
gone now.
luckily, fortunate touchwood should not come back again.
Yeah, absolutely. Touch wood.
Yeah. So, would you mind sharing your story? You don't have to say everything. Obviously, that's your personal thing.
Yeah.
But whatever you can share, whatever you feel, you can say how was it? What did you feel?
Okay.
Was it too harsh? I don't know.
Well, it's kind of a complex thing because you do have different types of anxiety, right? You can have one that is just like one off before exam, or you go to a job interview. That's kind of normal. But for me, it was more of a chronic state for myself. So it was a case of there were things building up that I didn't even realize. You know what you've been through as a child. You don't even realize, but it has so much impact on how you cope as an adult. And I think you can kind of agree on that.
Absolutely.
And then I moved here on my own when I was 19. And I was like, I'm strong, independent, I can do it. But it was just a crash when COVID started. So it was a lot of things. It was physical anxiety, environmental anxiety, financial. I'm not sure if I said that already. So there was a lot of stuff that got me to the point where I was. Um, and the thing that I didn't know I'm even going through the anxiety because Mentally, I didn't really feel it. Like I wasn't anxious or whatever. It was more of a physical
Mm-hmm.
symptoms that I had. So it got to the point where I was literally like vomiting every single day.
That's
It was kind of difficult to the point where when the COVID started, I had to change the job. So I went and I was like, okay, I'm gonna put my pride in, and I went for the warehouse job. And obviously it's physically demanding job.
it is.
So it was just the same thing all the time. And on top of that, I had full-time university, so there was like a lot of stress going on. And yeah, it was just the constant sessions of like going to work, waking up in the morning, feeling nauseous, going in there, feeling just absolutely shit. And I remember there was a point, and I think it was like a peak at that time where I was, picking up orders with a scanner, right,
Yeah.
warehouse job, and I just did vomit in the middle of the warehouse, and we called the ambulance because I had a session of like 10 vomiting in a one go.
That's
So that was quite extreme.
it is.
And I think that's what got me to the point like, just you gotta do something with that because that's not normal.
That's not.
And then I went to a hospital. I was like terribly dehydrated and everything, so I had like fluids in and everything. But that's where I was like, you know what, you need to check on yourself.
Yeah.
So I did, but I didn't really get much of a help here in the UK. I obviously know, with all due respect to NHS, it just wasn't the best for me. So I went back to my home country just to kind of see
Yeah.
what's happening.
Yeah.
And then the doctor, she said, you're a very young girl. You've been through a lot of things. There is some trauma that your body holds, and you just can't let it go. You just like a shutdown mode, and it's kind of a flight and fight mode.
Oh.
So that was one of the things. And what really worked for me was kind of talking to myself, like TikTok. Thanks, TikTok. It absolutely saved
That's what
my
people
life.
are doing these days.
Yeah,
isn't it?
honestly, like it was just such a relief because I could see that people go through the similar things. Because when you vomit and you feel like sickness and everything, you think
Yeah.
like, oh, it's gut related, but it was not. I was like, oh, what the anxiety is this and that. And yeah, it was just like showing up for myself, really. It was to the point where I just gotta kind of take care of myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if I did manage to go into the right direction
No,
because
that's
that's
fine. That's
one
fine.
of the
No,
things
no,
that I
no,
want
no,
to
that's
say as
fine.
well.
No, that's completely fine. I mean, to be honest, we both are doing this for the first time, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
doing for the
yeah.
first time as well, so it
No,
should.
because you know what? I sometimes do talk a lot, and just like,
But-
and I'm like, please do stop me or just emotion if I talk too much.
No. It's perfect. You're doing great. You're doing great. You don't have to be.
Alrighty.
Answered, yeah. You just mentioned this physical trauma.
Yeah.
What exactly triggered? Like how it happened? What if you okay?
You mean
sharing,
like? Oh yeah. So obviously, when you go and you actually study the nervous system and everything, it has a lot to do with anxiety. Because obviously, if you do have anxiety, regardless of what kind of symptoms you have, this comes from dysregulated nervous system.
Absolutely.
It's all connected to your brain and
Absolutely,
body.
agreed.
So whatever you've been through, your body holds emotions, and if you don't let this emotion go, they will come back at some point. So obviously, I'm not gonna go into kind of details of what exactly happened, because obviously that's kind of the past and personal stuff. But I would never say that's gonna come back to me, because I couldn't kind of much express my emotions. I was always holding them. I was always playing like, I had to be strong, I had to be resilient, right? That's what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's what they kind of expect from us, don't
Absolutely.
you agree? Like,
Yeah.
be more, be better, do more. So there's this kind of like a constant pressure. And if you don't let yourself to like have a proper rest, that's gonna get you, because you're gonna be so overwhelmed and so like burned out. And that's what happened to me, because I was moving jobs, I was in a very toxic environment, and I thought like, what's happening, and it got to the point where I actually managed to so differently from the previous job that I had.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, my anxiety came back. I'm not really happy with it. Let's see what I can do with it. So I did my old stuff, which I'm happy to talk about later. What kind of helped me to relieve my anxiety. But I did went on meds as well. I think it was called beta blockers. So it kind of, because I had this physical symptoms, they kind of stopped the sweating, the heartbeat, the
It calms you
vomiting.
down in a way, I guess. So,
Yeah. So usually it's not like something very like a serious medicine or
the
whatever.
pills, the heavy pills that you take it and you just
No,
feel
no,
like,
no. So no
it's the
heavy
very-
meds. No,
No,
heavy meds.
Same here. I mean, I have been given by GP the two meds. One, take it daily, and one for the panic attacks that you get it in between. Just take it when you feel very much
Exactly.
heavy.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
that-
But he told me to take it like, on a daily basis, and I did, and it helped me tremendously.
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of started to building habits and making sure that I actually take the advantage, that I don't feel so scared, like so uncomfortable, let's say. So that helped me a lot to kind of build the way I am now, because I wasn't vomiting, I wasn't like, going crazy. So I was like building a small habit, but it's very difficult.
It is difficult.
Because, people tell you, oh, you're just depressed, babe. You'll be fine. You'll get over it. Or people at work were telling me, oh, why are you stressing? Like, what kind of things are you stressed about? You just in your 20s. And when you hear this from people, it just gets you down.
Yeah, even if you're not stressed and people come and say, this will stress you out. I mean, before going into the situation, you have already got this perception that if you're going to do that, you might get stress. So even that is a very weird situation. You haven't experienced that particular activity or any work, but then, for example, as you said, you used to work in a warehouse, correct? If someone comes to you and say that it's a very stressful situation at warehouse, you should not work. And when you go day one, you'll be like, I don't want to work here, because somewhere or the other, the perception has created in your head that this is not a good one.
Yeah.
It happened to me as well. And you were talking about the suppressed feeling. I have been through that as well. And I totally get it. When a lot of emotions are going on, either you tend to ignore it, you try to hide it, and at some point it just comes out, purging it off. And I feel it just no one understands until you go through it, I guess. I have been through recently, like a month ago. I'm still on meds, to be honest. I haven't said this to anyone. Even friends who are there right now behind the cameras, even they don't know that I have been on meds. Not the panic ones, but the mild ones, which keeps me calm in certain ways. And I think this has worked for me, that making videos, talking to people, and all of that, it worked for me. So yeah, I totally get it, how it feels. Here's some facts, amazing, interesting. 72% of people are stressed, and over 70% are showing signs of burnout. I mean, I saw this statistics and I was like, that's not just me. Like, there are so many people.
So many other people as well.
And I'm so happy that there are still 30% of people who are not. But what about the 70% people? And it just made me think so much, and so many different ways, that it also helped me a lot of ways, that how can I come out of the situation. So that's there. Another amazing question I would love to know. And we all talked about the sad part, the emotional part of it. But what was the turning point? Like that moment where you said, I can't do this anymore. I need to speak it. I need to go. I need to talk. Maybe doctor, maybe a friend. What was that?
So as I mentioned earlier, it was this turning point where I did vomit at work. It was kind of embarrassing, because obviously everyone could see what's happening. They had to get me out, call the ambulance, and it was like shortly after COVID time. So I obviously, NHS, I'm sorry again, but I had to wait for the ambulance like 2 hours, and it was out of town. I didn't have a car, so I literally had to stay there and wait for them. But it was a case of what I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink, because I was like, I'm gonna get nauseous in a second, I'm gonna vomit again. And it was this endless circle of thinking, I'm gonna get sick, then I'm getting sick, and then it's just keep repeating itself. It was absolutely terrible. I lost a lot of weight as well, like a 15 kg.
That's a lot.
It is a lot because I pulled a lot.
But isn't that good for a girl?
Well,
To
no,
lose weight.
I did lose it in a way I'm not proud of because
Ah, okay.
because I couldn't eat anything
Yeah.
or drink anything. I was like literally on empty stomach. And when you are in a fight or flight mode, your body doesn't focus on metabolism,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
I agree.
that's even more
Worst.
difficult. And I started vaping, which I'm not proud of, but that kind of helped me to make me feel fuller. So when that happened, I realized just this is not good. You gotta go do something.
Yeah.
So I went to Poland. I went to the doctor. They gave me meds and everything, and that kind of slightly put me on the right track. But obviously, it doesn't really help to relieve the root cause of what's actually
It
happening,
doesn't, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because it's
yeah.
just a temporary fix,
Absolutely.
Um, so I had the anxiety is like this fan in the kitchen that when you kind of go and want to enjoy your food after cooking, the fan doesn't shut off. It keeps going. And that's what anxiety is. Like it's always there unless you find your own way. And people find many ways work for many different people. For me, it was kind of 3 to 1, let's go. Like, because I was very like, oh babe, I don't want to do anything, I don't feel like going anywhere, doing anything, because I was feeling sick. But then I was like, oh, let's do that, and I'm like, oh, I can't be asked. So I was like, okay, 3 to 1, go. And I would just literally pushed myself. That kind of would work for me. I also loved a cold water.
Ooh.
When you like just go take a cold shower, or
In
like
winter time, November, December. You sure about that? I mean,
I
I wouldn't prefer that.
not like ice cold shower, but something just to like relieve your
Cool
body,
you down,
because
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what happens when you are about to go through the panic attack. Because there are some symptoms beforehand that will tell you, Jess or Dash, that's gonna happen. So when I knew that's gonna happen, I was like, getting my hands wet with like cold water, or like splashing my my face with a cold water. That's kind of would help me.
So that's
And
one of the therapy I would say you tried.
kind of a way. So there were, people say, oh, meditate, or do some mindfulness, do a journal, or go for a walk, this and that.
Yeah.
And it definitely works for people, don't get me wrong. It might works for you, I'm not sure what works for yourself.
Absolutely.
But that didn't work for me really. So I was like trying to regulate my nervous system, but with all these kind of mindfulness, I was like, oh, that's a crap, that didn't work for me. And it was a case of pushing myself, because again, it's a mind thing.
Absolutely.
So I was talking to myself, like, Jess, that's gonna be a great day. But in my mind, I was like, Jess, why are you lying to yourself? It's
so
all
that's
a
a
lie.
two different reality. You say
Yes.
something, but you're feeling it something
Yeah.
else. That's two different personality altogether.
Because that's how your brain is
Absolutely.
wired.
Yeah.
So you need to like kind of rewire it, right? So I was like, Jess, it's gonna be great. And when I was feeling like the panic attack is coming, I was like, okay, you know, let it happen, let it be, kind of thing. And it might sound weird, but that's what you gotta do. You're just gonna acknowledge that that's what's gonna happen, let it be, but find your way to overcome it. And it's not easy to be like, oh, 3, 2, 1, go, because you can do it 10 times in a row and you're not gonna do it. You feel like tired, fatigue, and everything, but you're just gonna keep pushing yourself.
Absolutely.
Because no one else is gonna do it for you. But
You
that
know-
kind of was a turning moment for myself.
Yeah, that's great. We're just saying about those therapies or the techniques that you used. For me, I think the breathing technique worked for me.
Okay.
I think whenever I am in the situation where I feel so much anxiety, stress, or maybe too much heavy-headed kind of feeling, I start taking a deep breaths, one at a time, like, and then take it out. I don't know how it's gonna make, but I think, as you said, the nervous system, because when you start taking breath in a very slow, calm, your blood pressure gets normalized, and suddenly you start feeling a little calmer and composed, and then I think that is what it gives you a clarity in your head more.
Yeah.
so that you can think straight
That's
instead. But that's work for me, obviously.
exactly.
Would it work for you, or you
I did
think
try
would it
it.
work for someone else?
Definitely, it's a try and error, I guess, because I'm glad it worked for you,
Yeah, it
and
worked for
it
me.
kind of helps you to relieve the symptoms. But for me, I did try it, but when I'm gonna puke, it's a case of my heart is
Beeping
beating,
high and all of
yeah,
that.
and
Yeah,
I
your
know it's
blood pressure gets
coming.
higher.
Exactly,
I
some
mean,
things.
everyone has their own ways of symptoms. Like someone feels
Dizzy,
heavy-headed, someone
yeah.
feels dizzy, some has some other issues, but that relates to anxiety at the end of the day. So there's a lot of things goes on. Amazing question I ask a lot of people these days. What was your spark moment? Like what is that moment when you felt you are out of it? Like I am so happy today, and this is what I dreamed of while going through the situation. And now I want to do go for a park, as you said. I want to do a picnic, have a photo shoot,
Yeah.
go for
Go
dinner, maybe have a
crazy.
park ride, water, anything.
Um, I think it was last year because obviously that was the my anxiety episode was going on for like 3 4 years.
That's a long, long time.
That's what I mean. I had a really long chronic anxiety. Therefore, I lost 15 kg. Obviously now I laugh, but back then it was absolutely horrible. And it was the moment when I woke up feeling great. I didn't feel sick. The weather was nice, and obviously, who lives in the UK, then they know that it's
Yeah.
it's a very rare thing to have a beautiful weather. And I went for a run. I went for my run, like first run in like ages. And that made me so happy. Like I had my music on, the weather was absolutely nice, there were other people running. That was when I was celebrating it. I felt like I feel power,
Yeah.
I'm stronger, I'm better, and I can do so much more.
That feeling of achieving world.
Yes.
Going to trips, doing do all those scuba diving, maybe skydiving on top of
I'm not that crazy.
palm. Oh, you're not. Oh.
No, not.
Would you mind trying it out?
Well, you know what? I did want to do a bungee jump. Is that what it's called?
I
Bungee
mean,
jump?
bungee jumping, and then you have skydiving from.
Yeah.
I still have a dream to do it. That going Dubai
Yeah.
and doing it above the palm pitch. It's
Oh, that's beautiful.
amazing when you go 15,000 feet and you drop and you see Dubai from that top angle.
No, of course. But I think
it's-
I used to be crazy back in the days where, I would thinking of the hot balloon trip,
Yeah.
this and that, and it's still in my mind. Like, I would go to a lot of amusement parks in the past, like roller coaster and this and that. But now I don't know. Maybe I'm old. I feel old sometimes.
No. You should not. You
But
should
I'm like,
not.
oh, it's just not for me. But maybe, who knows? Maybe I will
Nice,
go
very
crazy
nice.
again. You never know. Never say
Yeah.
never.
There's an amazing thing I have. Like, that's my observation again. Do you think food and all these mental issues are related to each other?
um, a lot of people say it is, and
Because we try to avoid food when you're feeling that. You're like, I'm just feeling
Yeah.
bad. I don't want to eat anything. But then,
it
I don't
makes
know.
things
Is it
worse.
good having good food? I'll tell you my experience. I was on a diet for 4 weeks. I was
Congrats.
cut down on low sugar. I was not eating any carbs. I wanted to have this six packs abs that you wanted.
Yeah, of course.
And
Summer
all
is
of these
coming.
happened after me doing those diet. And it just made me think like, is it my food that impacted my health? Or is it something else?
I would say it's very cliche. I think that's how you say it. But in my country, and I think in the UK you say it as well, you are what you eat, right?
Yeah.
So you remember when we had this conversation about like, prepping food, this and that. I did the same thing. So I went low carbs, low sugar,
Yeah.
because if you feed your brain and your body on it, it's just not the best in the long term.
Absolutely.
And I agree with it. You are what you eat. And it
Absolutely.
does help you to focus better because obviously your body have a different fuel, so it's not sugar anymore, but it's all this stuff. So yeah, 100%, I would say what we eat is really really important,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it reflects how we feel as well.
yeah. I have another observation because I have been one of the patient of that. I mean, I should not say patient, but do you think the social media right now at this place? I know I'm going to upload this on social media again. This will be on YouTube on different channels, and I'm saying about this, but it's very important. Like, we are all the time we are on phones, either on TikTok, either on Instagram, or we sending snaps to our friends.
Do you still
And
use Snapchat?
yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, this
It's
is
still
like
there.
it's so like 2016 or even 14.
Yeah, I
What?
mean, you got so addicted to it, so
Okay.
habituated. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is where's your phone?
Yeah.
And then you start looking at all the notifications. And before sleeping, you need at least an hour to check again. I think is it FOMO that you're gonna miss something out that's happening in the world, and that I don't know what is it. This fear of missing out something.
Yeah.
Does it feel like it impacts your life?
It did, because I was very like attached to my phone. Like, don't get me wrong, you still me walking around with phone, but that's only for the work purposes. And mainly, I'm not like scrolling through TikTok crazy at work or whatever. But I used to come back home. I wouldn't do like anything because I didn't feel like doing anything, and I would just go on my phone and I would just go to sleep. That's what I would do
Mm,
because I was so like shut down and tired. But exactly what you said, the moment you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is just go on your phone. I kind of, to push myself out of bed, I
yeah.
would place my phone further away from my bed. So then I'm forced to wake up, grab my phone. And instead of scrolling through the social media, I would just go on a YouTube and I would put the my one and only Diary of a CEO podcast. I absolutely love it. And that would just be in the background, and I would not touch social media or whatsoever unless my mummy would text me. So then obviously I would text her back, but that's it, nothing else. So yes, I do agree. We kind of have this feeling of we're gonna go, we're gonna see what happened, this and
Yeah.
that. But I
Yeah.
don't have it anymore. Maybe
You
because I'm
know
getting older. I don't
why I
know.
ask this question? Because I feel if you're not being very active in your life and you're just doing your normal day job, you're doing just normal stuff, routine, and you see other people going to Dubai, going to
Yeah,
Europe trips, doing some amazing adventures and stuff like that, and you feel like,
you're missing out.
what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah, it
Like
makes you
where
feel
am
down.
I? So I think that also impacts a lot on one's individual's life. It might not impact you.
Yeah.
I think you're on a great path. I think I should learn from you because
Thank
I
you.
am also these days become an addict, being a co-founder of a company. At the same time, I feel like nowadays it's more of an Instagram influencer than being or running your own company. So that's
Yeah,
that's pretty.
I do believe you kind of
It's
feel alone
yeah.
because
I mean,
it's
sometimes it does showing up on your feed and seeing the hey, what's up, how are you doing, and all of that. But then you feel so.
I think it comes from how you feel within yourself. Again, I'm not an expert, so I'm just saying my point of view. I might be wrong as well. But I used to compare myself to others a lot. I was like, oh, she finished uni, she got this job, they doing this and that, and I'm stuck here, this and that. And the moment you kind of let it go and you realize that, you will get to this point sooner or later,
Yeah.
that kind of mindset helps you to realize that you've got your own track to follow, your own pathway. And that's really really important to realize and acknowledge that you can't compare yourself to other people. Like, obviously we do that, right? Especially on
Yeah.
Instagram, like, oh, he looks better, he's more muscular in this and that. But we just can't. You're just a special unique person,
Oh, you
an
girls do that.
individual. Sorry.
Girls do that. You look so masculine.
Well, I have a boyfriend. I don't do that. But obviously, when we walk around the town and we see a handsome man or a girl, we do acknowledge we have a very healthy relationship.
All
So,
the boyfriends out there, be aware of your girlfriends. I mean, they do this.
well, yeah, obviously people do that. You glance at people, like, oh,
I
she's
mean,
good
nothing bad in
looking.
doing that.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
far as both of,
absolutely.
there's another thing which another observation I feel like, does the UK weather impacts? Does the weather that we have, we get only hardly 2 months of summer. most of the days are very
Well,
cloudy,
you're lucky if you
rainy.
get 2 months though.
I mean, on theory, at least we say like, 2 months of summer, but then
Yeah.
obviously it's just hardly a couple of weeks.
Um,
Yesterday it was 30 degree and I was boiling.
Tell me about it. It was absolutely hot. I mean, I think obviously I'm not from a very hot country. It would be more question towards you because obviously
No, I come
you
from a
come from a
country
very
where 45 degrees Celsius is very normal. But I was going through hell yesterday. I feel like I think I should take my mattress outside, sleep with my fish, my backyard, I have a pond over there.
but
I'll sleep with them.
But yeah, going back to your question, I absolutely agree. The weather is one of the key things when it comes to how you feel. Because obviously in Poland, we get a beautiful spring most of the time. Not nowadays, I think it kind of changed a bit.
Yeah.
But we would get a beautiful spring, a beautiful summer when it's nice, hot, and it will make you feel nice. But when I'm here, and most of the time, you take your black blinds up, and then what you see is just the great skies all the time. So it's a bit difficult. And when the sun is out, that's my energy. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is your day, Jess. You're gonna smash it. So yeah, absolutely. Weather, it's a key point.
Um, what I mean, what is that one thing after you pass all those situations? Like, what's your go-to thing? What do you do in your best time? For example, it's sunny right now. Is it something that you'll go to park, have a walk? Is it the Tesco walk? Because I have heard from one of my friends, she's very young, she said, we have gone to a Tesco walk. And I was like, what is a Tesco walk?
That's
And then we just went to a superstore and we were just walking around there. And the eyes. I was like, okay.
It's a girl therapy. Okay, I don't know if that was a girl or a boy.
Yeah, she was my friend. Yeah, she's, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so it's a female.
Yeah.
So this is what I kind of sometimes try to explain to my boyfriend because he sometimes when we go for a shopping, he's like, "Oh, Jess, come on, let's go home. Like, you're not buying anything. You're just touching and looking at stuff." But that's the therapy. You go, you acknowledge nice stuff, you look at them, and that kind of make you feel relaxed. At least for myself, I'm not a shopaholic or whatever.
I mean, we feel
That's-
you should know what you're buying. You should have a list. You go to a store.
That's what
you
I
pick
do.
things up. I mean, otherwise, you plan to
That's
buy 10 things and you'll end up buying 25, 30, which is
Okay,
ultimately for a guy.
let me be
is-
more specific. For that exact reason, I started doing online shopping at Asda. So I get my shopping list, I get this delivered home, that's it. I don't buy any crap. But when I go to town for like TK Maxx and stuff, I'm like, okay, let me just pop in there, let me see the candles, this and that. So yeah, that's kind of one of the things makes me feel nice. So it will be a Tesco walkies for your friend. That's definitely one of the things. But when it's a nice weather, I love to go to Abbey Park.
it's-
Take a book, take a blanket, put yourself down and just enjoy it. Just lock yourself in.
just the girly thing.
That's
I
it.
can't be asked.
Really?
I mean, I would love to work instead doing that, but then yeah, that's just who I am. These
Okay.
days have changed. I've been just working day and night because I have day job, then I have my company to run. There's so many things at the same time.
If you
And-
find the time, don't get me wrong, I've got 2 jobs, right? So it's not a case of like, oh yeah, on every day off I go to Abbey Park, right?
Yeah,
It's just
mean,
finding this balance.
Me
right?
and both of my founders, like, or 3 of us, we just sit down and sometimes we just chat for an hour on FaceTime and we don't talk anything. We just talk rubbish. We don't even
Yeah,
talk about Spark. It's just something else.
chit-chatting.
Yeah, but then we thought of doing that, but ultimately we don't do that. But anyways, just want to end up all this conversation on a very fun note. So, what's that one guilty pleasure that instantly lifts your mood? Like, is it Greg's sausage roll? Is it random scroll through memes or a walk? Choose one, or
Choose
maybe
one.
maybe anything else that you do.
Okay, so if I were to pick one from the answers that you gave me, I would say a meme scroll. I love memes. I'm a meme girly. Like, I
Oh
love
my
memes.
God.
Yeah, I know
I
it's
can't be
terrible.
asked.
Honestly, it's just sometimes it just let you to switch off your brain, because especially for yourself, like you work a lot, right? And likewise me. And it's a case of like you just switch off your brain. You're just like, haha, that's really nice, and that's it. And you just go to a next one. But my really guilty, our pleasure is listening to One Direction and Backstreet Boys songs. Like I absolutely love doing it, especially
You're
like
not
no
the
one is
first one saying this
around.
to me, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a massive fan One Direction. Like since I'm 10, so it's been years now.
Okay. What would you say the people who are watching this, and especially who are in the low phase right now?
I would say even when people try to make you feel like it's not what you're going through, it's just you're just coming out with stuff and things, just make sure you do stuff for yourself. Just make sure that you work on yourself for yourself and not anybody else. I think that's what I said earlier, just make sure you show up for yourself because no one else is going to do it for you, just only you.
Yeah,
You can
I
count on
agree.
yourself only. You can have a lovely family around you, they're going to give you support, but not everyone has it.
Yeah.
Like for example, myself, my whole family is in Poland, so just make sure you take care of yourself and you speak to friends, family, and
Yeah.
even if they don't acknowledge what you're going through or they don't agree with you, just don't let it make you
Affect
feel
you.
down. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just think yourself first. You need to be selfish.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. We're gonna do some rapid fire questions. Just
Okay.
4 to 5, not a lot, and you just have to
How
answer.
many? Did
We'll
you say
go through it.
45?
No, 4 to 5, not
45.
45.
I was
Not
like, what?
45.
45?
No. What's the best advice you ever got?
Best advice I've ever
Yeah.
got. Just that's what I said earlier. Just don't compare yourself to other people. That's it.
What's your go-to comfort food on a bad day?
Oh my god, is this Lebanese food in town? They do
Where
like
about?
tortillas. You know where it's like Sports Direct,
Okay.
and then opposite that is like falafel. I think yeah.
People are watching it. They might not be from Leicester, but
Oh, okay. So it's a Lebanese food. So it's like a chicken wrap with a garlic sauce. I love garlic, so that's my go-to. I love
Dusha,
it.
can you
Or
please order one for me, please? I'm so hungry after listening to this.
And the chow mein. I love chow mein.
Okay. If you could teleport anywhere right now, where would you go?
Well, it's kind of tricky question with what
No,
happens.
it's so easy. I mean, what's your...
Okay.
If you have that magic to teleport yourself to a place, where would you be?
Poland.
Fair
That's
enough.
it.
What's your guilty pleasure TV show?
Oh god. Okay, so you know when I told you I don't watch Love Island, right?
Yeah.
But I do watch Hotter Paradise. I don't know if that's a thing in the UK.
Yeah.
But it is in Poland, so Hotter Paradise is my go-to. Like my brain is just switched off. I just watch it. That's it.
If your mood today was a weather forecast, what would it be?
Oh, beautiful, sunny, 28 degrees, as you can tell. It will be absolutely lovely weather. That's how I'm feeling today.
That's all from the rapid fire round. I think you had not a bad one though. You did a good job.
Yeah. I think
good
we
job.
kind of touch on good points. You
Absolutely.
shared your experience,
Yeah.
and I did do some touch points as well. If what I said didn't make sense, I'm sorry. I kind of lose a plot quite regularly.
That's fine, that's
But if there is anyone that kind of can relate to what I've been through, then that's the most important thing.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Jess.
No
Last
worries.
question. I'm not gonna take much of your time now.
Okay.
What would you want to ask to the next person who will come on the show?
Oh. Okay. What?
Oh, am
Okay, I got
making
it. I
you
got
think
it.
a lot?
No,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah. I
go
do
on.
think a lot. I do overthink. What would you say to your younger self or yourself from the past when you first felt anxiety? What would you tell them? Kind of advice.
Interesting.
And I think it's a good question to kind of go back and go through it emotionally. And now obviously you have a different perspective because you've been through that experience, right? So I think it's a
Absolutely.
nice throwback for the next person. So good luck.
Thank you so much, Jess, for being real and sharing your life, your stories that have been. I know it's not easy. I'm still going through it, but this is what I love doing it. So I'm just trying to get back to my own self. I think you should do things that make you happy and smile. Obviously, if it's your boyfriend, if it's your close ones, should someone just be there,
Yeah.
like talk about it, and that's all you need to do. And yeah, that's it. Last
Well,
things.
yeah, I just wanted to thank you again for having me. I think what you do and what's gonna come is amazing initiative. So kind of people can see what other people have gone through and just kind of go through their experiences. So I think it's a lovely initiative. Keep going, keep pushing because I love what you're
Trying,
doing, and all of you
trying.
guys as a spark. And obviously, as the last word, I do want to thank Camilla and Ali for having us today.
Yeah.
So that's Free Coffee Co-working Space and Motivation Academy. So thank you so much for letting the space up for us, for getting everything prepped. And I think it's not the first time for you here and not the last
No,
one.
no, we're gonna be here more often now.
Yeah, he's going to be a pain.
Yeah. Thank you, Jess.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much,
much.
Dash.
Someone cut it off.